Everyone wants to be known. Everyone wants to be heard. What does disassociation look like? It depends on who's asking. If you are just a friend or a layperson, it may look like nothing. If you're a therapist, you may see more characteristics than other people, because that is at least what happened in my life when I was diagnosed with dissociative identity, and I learned that there were parts that were holding the trauma memories away from me. They did a lot of showing up, I should say, in therapy sessions, because there was someone there who saw them. There was someone there who was willing to listen to what they had to say. And I was, as the host person, was able to, most of the time, stay in the room and hear what that part had to say and hear what their memories were. And it was fascinating. Like, if you could see what goes on in the brain, it would be a totally different picture. But it also depends on the parts. Like, a lot of people, I have a few friends who had the diagnosis, and one of them, her hair would change color when she flipped parts. Don't ask me how that's physically possible, but it would. And there are different characteristics that would happen when I would flip into Rebecca, which I've already shared about. I could not use my right arm. My right arm hurt. So physically speaking, I would walk around with my right arm like this, and I would just use my left arm. So that is how it would look. If you were close enough to me, you could tell in the eyes. There's a glazed off expression that happens sometimes when the flipping, I call it flipping, going from one person to another. Normally, you don't see a lot of that unless it's a massively stressful situation and there's a part that just doesn't want to come out, and till finally someone agrees, okay, this is what's going to go on. But like in the counseling sessions, usually one part would come out and would share their memory and what was going on. And so yeah, it looks very different from the outside. There were a lot of people that had no idea that I had dissociation and the identity disorder, because I tried to present myself as myself the whole time. Matter of fact, my therapist would write all my letters, and she would write them to Steffi et al., which is Stephanie and others, without exposing me in case someone else saw the letters. You know, it was all about protecting me, and I wanted to protect the parts. Anyway, that's a little bit about what dissociation might look like. One of my parts I was going to tell you guys about. Her name was, what did she tell me her name? I just went blank. You ever go blank when you're leaving a message in the video? Anyway, her name was Felicia. And Felicia, she was probably 16, 17 years old. She was the wily kind, definitely more carefree than some of my other parts. Her favorite thing to wear was a flowing blue dress that I had. It is, or was, gorgeous. I don't believe I have it anymore. And it had a scarf that she tied around her neck, and she was all that and more. And what made it very difficult for me was if she was going to go to work and go to the office and wore her dress, if one of the little parts got triggered out at lunch and I had to try to, make things okay, they didn't like anything tied around their neck, and it bugged them. So if Felicia wore her dress and her scarf to work and someone else got triggered out, it made life very interesting for me. Sometimes I'd have to take an extra pair of clothes and just change into something generic that everybody could like. Yeah, it was quite interesting being on the inside of what was going on. Being on the outside, some people thought I was just sad and hurt, which was the case with a lot of the parts. So if you have any other questions on what it looks like to be dissociative, let me know. I try to clear it up for you and let you know Don't mind my dog barking. But if you have any questions for me, write them in there. I'd love to try to respond. All I can do is share from my perspective what it was like for me and my parts, and usually when they would show up. And even if they were triggered out, we would try to pretend when we were around people that did not know about the diagnosis that I was fine, I was okay, I was all right. And it is like holding your breath for hours. And when I would go home, I would fall apart. I would be a mess. But it was very much, don't let people on the outside know something's going on. And that was how it was for me, because 20 years ago, people did not talk about this like they're talking about it now. And that's kind of why I'm opening up and just want to say, you know what? You are a human. You need to be seen. You need to be heard. All of your parts need to be seen and be heard and be loved and be accepted. And that is what got me to the place I am now. I finally embraced myself. I finally embraced every single part I had. And I'm living in joy now, and I got past the sadness, and I'm living in freedom. And I just want to share my message that hope is possible. And God met me in the darkest, brokenest place there ever was. He took my grounded, powdered, dusted heart and mended it and healed it and allowed me to show love to other people again and just embrace people instead of hide from people. So that's what it is from my point of view. Just wanted to let you guys know what it looks like to be dissociative. Thanks for listening to my story. There's so much more to come.